I'm now at a stage where I can build whatever app or software platform I want, large or small. I've got various AI agents in the background working for me as well. So I get my prompt, I paste it to Cursor, it does its magic stuff. My jaw drops to the floor. So let's not all start complaining about jobs being replaced in jobs that we all fucking hate. Welcome to Mike Unfiltered. I'm going to be doing a podcast on abundance with AI. So why? Well, I suffered business failure myself with one of my businesses. The other one's successful, but one of them, unfortunately, I suffered failure with it. And I looked at that failure, I looked at those pains, and I looked at what went wrong. And there were many things outside of my control, but there were things as well that perhaps would have been picked up if I wouldn't have been so spread thin, as it were, as a small business owner. What I'm trying to do is help you as a business owner and everybody else achieve abundance and live a life where you can actually live a life. So let's not all start complaining about jobs being replaced in jobs that we all fucking hate. You know, the jobs that you hate, let's automate the simple jobs, the repetitive jobs that humans don't want to do. They're dehumanizing anyway. Let's automate them. Let's make our businesses run better. And let's be freed up to actually live. That's where we can find purpose. I'm now at a stage where I can build whatever app or software platform I want, large or small. I can even build games, video games, all kinds of things. I could build anything, literally anything. I could make videos, which I'll demonstrate in some of my upcoming videos. I can make videos that are produced out of Hollywood. And I could do all of that for little to no cost. Now, the benefits there are obvious. So again, I've looked at pains that a small business owner suffers and thought, okay, well, accounting, invoice chasing, time, funnily enough, answering all the calls, not missing any of the calls, marketing, content, doing the content. I mean, how, when? It's very, very tough to run a business anywhere in the globe at the moment, but especially in the UK and the European Union, it's very, very tough. So I thought, well, the way you can get around it, especially the over-regulation, is not to ignore it, it's to face it head on, but to have your own perfect, round-the-clock, highly intelligent, genius-level employee or business partner or whatever working with you to help you navigate through that and do a lot of that for you. How perfect would that be? So I thought, okay, well, I can write a bit of code, but I'm not a world's foremost expert in code, but I've got access to a world's foremost expert in code. So developing your own software, for example. So I've developed a platform, I call it Business Hero, that has literally been a game changer for me in business. Hence the fact that I've got time to be recording these videos now, because at the moment my calls are being answered for me. Schedules and appointments are being booked in. My emails are already being summarized. Urgent ones are already being auto-responded to. There'll be a bunch of drafts that I've got to approve, but they're written in the way I write, so I've talked backwards and forwards. I've got various AI agents in the background working for me as well. Those AI agents answer to another AI agent boss, who's the most clever one, got the most powerful resources. They all answer to that one. I've given them all names. Yeah, sorry about that. I've given them all names, and I only speak to one of them, who then manages a whole team underneath, like a company structure. I speak to one of them who then updates me, and I then give them instruction, and all these jobs get done. So I've now got time to start sharing this with you guys. I can now start seeing income start to hopefully roll in over time. But in addition to that, I can actually have my job done for me, which is very difficult owning multiple small businesses. I can have a lot of that work done for me, or at least supplement my current abilities, which is really, really good. It means I can do things like my hobbies. I can work out in my gym, which is one of my businesses. I can perhaps go off to the indoor snow ski slope. I can do some water sports, all the stuff that I absolutely love doing. But most importantly, I can spend time with my kids as well. And I can actually go places and do things and record this content to share it with you. Hence, abundance. So that's my why. Anyway, let's get to it. So I'm going to talk about building a site. I'm going to use my Business Hero platform that I built as an example here. How did I build such a powerful platform by myself, by the way? I had zero help other than this artificial, well, alien or alternative intelligence. I had no help. So how did I build it? Okay, let's get straight to it. Okay, so we've done the why. Now let's do the how. I did something called an AI stack. What do you do? So I put my architect and my main brain at the top. Now, at the moment, at the time of recording this video, and at the time of recording this video, 18th of March 2026, in a week's time, there'll be another AI that's leapfrogged the ones I'm about to put on the board. So stay up to date. So at the moment, as of today, I either use GPT 5.4 or I use Claude or Sonnet 4.6. So I'm just going to put 4.6 Claude Opus or Claude Sonnet 4.6. So I'll just put here Opus or Sonnet. So this is my top brain that I talk to at the top. This is where I'm developing my app. So first of all, that's me. I have my idea. This is what I need. This is the pain point. This is the problem I need to solve. This is the software solution I need. How do I build it? Now, I could stop this video there and I could just say, go off and talk to them and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Done. It's as easy as that. But let's carry on. So there's my brain there. So this one works with me. I'm the ideas guy. I've got a bit of coding experience and all that stuff, but you don't have to have any of that experience. Okay, I don't even check the code no more. I don't need to. I just don't need to check the code. It's better than me, and it's better than or as good as some of the top coders in the world. You've got some of the best coders in the world right here. Okay, so I don't even check it no more. I just, if a bug happens, then we just debug it together. We work out what the issue is. And again, I go back and forth. So the idea, initial idea, I go and speak to this. And then as we're developing the software together, I always top level speak to this one, my brain, okay? Well, that brain, whatever. My architect and brain of the operation, me and this top level work together. And as we're building it, as we come across an issue, so it deploys a bit of code, for example, and we go, it didn't quite work how I want it to. Here's some error logs, paste it into there, what's gone wrong. And then it debugs it with you and sorts out the issue. So this is always your go-to, right at the top level. Then, what do you have underneath that? I use myself. I'm not sponsored by these, by the way. I mean, Cursor, OpenAI, Claude. If you want to sponsor me, then yeah, let's talk like now. Anyway, so Cursor I use. There are other options. That's probably the most powerful out there at the moment. Okay, I'll get into another one actually very soon, which is very, very user-friendly, very beginner-friendly, called Replit. But we'll get into that into another video. So this is for quite advanced, quite full-on platforms that now anyone can build, whether you're IT savvy or not. So I use Cursor. That's my coding place. So that's my place for the actual coding. Inside Cursor, you download it on your laptop. Inside Cursor, you can actually choose your AI coding agent. At the moment, I'm using Opus 4.6 within Cursor. So when you download Cursor, I will be attaching like screenshots and video recordings to this video. So you'll see it's probably going to appear now. Okay, so you'll see that I'm using Cursor for the coding, and you just select the model, 5.4, Opus 4.6, Sonnet, Composer 1.5, which is Cursor's own native one. Again, the higher level the model, the more expensive, the more tokens it's going to consume, and potentially be a bit more expensive. However, it's still really cheap. Bearing in mind, big software platforms used to cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to build just a few years ago, and now they cost like 200-300 quid, 50 quid, 20 quid, depending on the size. That's pretty good going. Anyway, so I use Cursor for the actual coding. Okay, so what I do is I go to my architect and go, right, we've figured out the idea, we've architected, we've got a whole design going. This is great. Okay, can you provide me with the first prompt I need to copy and paste into Cursor's little chat box, the perfect prompt so that Cursor knows exactly what to do? Yeah, sure. And it gives me the prompt. I then copy that prompt and paste it into Cursor's chat thing. Then once Cursor does its thing, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, about half the time now, you could do it all the time to begin with so you can get the hang of it. I then copy the output when Cursor's finished its coding bit and it says, right, this is the first stage, this is what I've done. I then copy that and paste it back into there and say, this is what Cursor's done. What do you think? What next? Okay, so that's what happens there. I do that back and forth in between them, and it writes out all its code. Now, when you're building a big platform, like with Business Hero that I built, which is from what I can see, it's a market first. It's the only platform of that size out on the market at the moment. So because it's so big, it needs to be hosted somewhere. So if you're going to build a house, you'd need a piece of land to build it on. Okay, so you need to host it somewhere. My app, because it's quite large, and all apps actually, but depending on the size, it's got quite a large what we call back end. So it's got a back end. That's the nuts and bolts, the engine in the car. It's also got a front end. Now let's keep with the car analogy. That's your steering wheel, your pedals. They'll be gone soon. Anyway, so your car analogy, that's all your user interface at the front. When you sit in the driver's seat, you have all those wonderful gadgets and bits and pieces and screens in front of you. That's your front end, okay? That's your user interface, your dashboard, all right? Literally dashboard, not just in the car analogy, literally the dashboard or the user interface or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the coding, you've got coding for back end, coding for front end, but that coding needs to be hosted somewhere. They communicate with each other by linking them up. AI will give you all the instructions step by step on how to do this. There are so many platforms to do this. At the moment, for Business Hero, I've used others for other apps that I'm building. But at the moment, for Business Hero, sticking with that example, for the back end, I've used Railway. They do have some issues that crop up sometimes, like any server or hosting service, and they fix it like that. They're so good. And then the front end is hosted on something called Vercel. Okay. So all the coding, you've got the back end, the nuts and bolts being built by Cursor, and that back and forth to check it's doing all right. And then that back end coding is put on Railway, and the front end coding is put on Vercel. Now, Railway and Vercel, when I say it's put on there, how it's put on there is everything is connected up to something called, we've got room at the bottom of the board, to something called GitHub. This is where you'll find so many open and closed source pieces of code for so many platforms. If you wanted to learn coding, that's where I used to go to GitHub and just look at people's coding. I used to right-click inspect element on websites, and it brings up this little sidebar down the side of the screen. I used to point at bits and see the code, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. Yeah, and you kind of just sort of recognize the language eventually over time. And GitHub, that was how I learned a lot of that in the first place. So actually, Cursor builds your files, does your coding and builds them and saves them locally on your computer. But what you do is you link Cursor up with GitHub. So all the changes it makes, you then make sure that this will tell it, give it a prompt on what code it wants it to write. And it will say, once you've written that code, can you commit the changes to the computer and push those changes over to GitHub, which is like a Dropbox or a Google or a OneDrive. It's where the files on your computer are mirrored and stored online on an online server. Okay, and then GitHub is then I've linked it up to Railway and Vercel. Now it will automatically know, Railway and Vercel will automatically know which ones are back end and front end files based on how I've set it up. AI again will take you through that step by step, but it's so easy. Just open a free account with them. It costs you nothing. I just opened a free account. I downloaded Cursor, opened a free account, gave my details. I just put my bank details. I pay as I go, based on the usage. That's it. Literally pay as I go. But the back end Railway, front end Vercel, and GitHub, I just opened a free account. That's it. And if I happen to use anything, again, I just pay as I go. So it's so cheap. It's so cheap. So I get my prompts. I paste my prompts into Cursor. Cursor does all my coding for me. I sit there with my jaw dropping going, wow, I thought I was good at coding. This is just light years beyond me in terms of the speed. It's so fast. Thousands of lines of code. Billions of reasoning calculations a second. It's just, we can't match that. It's not possible. So I get my prompt, I paste it into Cursor, it does its magic stuff. My jaw drops to the floor. Then once it's done its magic stuff, sometimes I do a little stop check every now and then. I paste its feedback back into my brain and go, is this all right? Normally I have Opus or Sonnet 4.6 or GPT 5.4, and then the coding agent I use is Opus 4.6 or GPT 5.4. So this writes the prompts for that, and it makes sure it writes the prompt perfect for that model so they completely understand. So I'm the middleman. I just paste the feedback back to it and go, is that all right? And it goes, yeah, cool, let's move on to the next prompt. And it keeps going. And the whole while it's doing that, this then commits and pushes changes to the hard drive on my computer and to GitHub. And then as soon as GitHub gets the changes, it automatically sends out the changes there and there. That's it. I have thousands thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code written for a very advanced, super powerful platform that has AI automations. It analyzes my accounts. It does everything all in one go. And I built that all through this AI stack. My brain, my coder, and then my storage and my back end and front end and all that stuff. And I just, every time it rebuilds it and it deploys it, so it does a build and a deploy, I check on Railway, it's deployed okay. If I ever get any problems or any issues, I go into the Railway logs here. It's so easy, just click on it, you go logs. It just takes you straight into the logs. I copy and paste the logs into my brain up here and go, what's gone wrong? 9 times out of 10 I can see, but if you're not a coder, then paste it into there. It goes, spotted the problem. It's in line 148 to 176. This is what's happened. And you can actually, I've set this up so that it explains to me and tells me everything it's doing as if I'm a beginner. So it even teaches me as well as I go. So it picks up the issues and then gives me another prompt to paste into Cursor to fix that prompt. Yeah, to fix that issue, sorry. The prompt that I paste in there fixes that issue. And then it automatically goes to GitHub and gets pushed out to these two. Then I click on the app. If I want to log into the app while it's in production, I go to Vercel because that's the front end, that's the dashboard bit. And that front end is connected to the back end. So you log in through here. It provides a little link for you. You just go to the latest deployment, click the link, and it opens it up. And I come to my login screen or whatever you set up, and I just log in and I test out my app. And then if I get any problems, I then go back to my brain and say, these are the problems. Here's the Railway logs attached. And there's other things it can teach you as well. You can do that right-click, inspect element, and you can go to what we call development tools, dev tools. And you can look at what we call console and network and all of that stuff. And you can paste that in if it needs. It gives you step-by-step instructions, tells you everything. And it will help you debug any issues. Before you know it, you've got an app, a massive software platform or a small one, or even a video game, or something you want to put on the App Store and get subscriptions for. Because that's what you can do. Everyone can do this now, like literally everyone. Get your childlike imagination you had as a kid, bring it back, okay? Because you can now use that imagination to create and build whatever the hell you want. That's the world we now live in. Just by this, and it costs you a few quid. Pay-as-you-go usage as well. You can even set limits. You can go, right, I can't spend any more than this a month at the moment, so I'll set a limit, spend a limit of 100 quid or 50 quid. Then it hits that limit and it will go, look, we've run out of credits. Do you want to wait till next month or do you want to top it up? It's up to you. Yeah, and you can control your budget as well. It's amazing. And by the time you're finished, within a day, a week, a couple of months, you can have the equivalent of what would have been a few years ago a multi-million pound platform that is unbelievably powerful. What, a few hundred quid, 50 quid, whatever. And you built that and it came out of here. Get your childlike imagination, bring it back, create what you need. If you're a small business owner or medium-sized business owner, or you're even the owner or a chief executive or a senior leader in a large corporation and you don't know this, get to know this. Solve problems. Use your creativity. All we now need to do, how we humans work with this AI, is we use our creativity and our lived experience. So AI has data fed into it and it knows lots of stuff and it's got knowledge, hasn't got lived experience. This is how we humans perfectly complement and work with AI. We won't be replaced because yet, and hopefully ever, we have lived experience. AI doesn't. AI has the knowledge. We have the knowledge, but we have lived experience. AI has the superpowered knowledge. Combine those two together along with the human creativity, we can build whatever we want. Hence me starting off this podcast saying abundance. Okay, so if you get any questions, hit me up. What I'd like to see, if you get creating, show me the stuff you created. I'll be well excited. I want to see what you're creating. I want to see what you're building. I promise you, you start doing this, you will change your life. You will change your life. If you're an influencer out there and you need to have help with creating your content, build something. If you're a small business owner out there and you need help with a whole load of things that you're really struggling with, build something. Yeah, if you have got staff that are just underutilized, they're just doing things that just don't want to do, and you'd like to move them into a different position to do this or that, that'd be so much more beneficial for your business. But this particular monotonous, awful, boring task that's so dehumanizing still needs doing, automate it, get it covered, and then all of you be free and go on to do stuff you really want to do. That's what this is about. Yes, there are some things that we can talk about. I'm not even going to go down a rabbit hole, but there are loads of things there. There are risks. There is a bottomless pit of things that are very scary. Pandora's box is opened. It's here to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. Roll with it, learn it. That's it. It's as simple as that. So get creating, show me what you're creating. I want to see it. And then the next video, I'm going to take you through the next step. So I'm going to talk about agents. So I'll start with Replit. I'll start with the beginning bit, which is very user-friendly, right the way to OpenClaw and various other bits and pieces. And I'll give you live demos on what I've set up. It's really cool, really, really cool. I'm still learning now myself. So you guys can come on that journey with me and let's learn together. Let's create a little community where you can even teach me some stuff that I've missed out too. Let's get together. Let's become the best creators, not consumers, you can possibly be, because that's what you want to be in this new world. Creator, not consumer. I'll see you on the next video.